a very busy and a very productive legislative session, which we just recently concluded. And of interest to the business community is the fact that we, for the second consecutive year, passed our budget on time and at a spending level that approximates the 2008 general fund spending level. So it was a budget that was certainly one that constrained spending growth, which is important for our long-term fiscal health. And we did that while continuing the reduction of the capital stock and franchise tax, now 2 consecutive years of the phased-out reduction. We intend to continue that in the coming years until that's eliminated. And on the corporate tax side, we moved to a single sales factor calculation of the CNI, which is something that the business community has wanted for a long time. On the tax credit side, we refined the film tax credit to give a preference for filmmakers that are making capital investment in permanent sound stages and studios. We also, in the educational improvement tax credit, expanded the amount available for the existing tax credit and created a new scholarship program which we call EITC2, which would give special preference to children trapped in underperforming schools. In the legal reform arena, in this session, we did finally pass joint and several reform after many false starts and many years of trying, an issue that was at the top of most business group agendas. So we had a productive year in that area. In a different area, we, again, after years of discussion, passed a comprehensive statutory framework for the Marcellus Shale natural gas industry, which has just started to pay dividends in the form of impact fees to local communities, but more importantly, provided a framework for that industry to grow here in Pennsylvania. So that's just a short laundry list. We had a very long and productive legislative session. Well, there's one set of items that we will need to address in the new legislative session, and that is the implementation of the Affordable Health Care Act, or Obamacare, and 2 specific areas there, the implementation of state exchanges, or the deference to the federal government to use a federal exchange, is a decision we will need to make in the upcoming session, and also whether or not to expand Medicaid coverage under the Affordable Care Act. So we will need to make those decisions. 2 that we must do, and it's something that we've talked about for a long time but we haven't taken action on. We need to finally put in place adequate funding for our transportation infrastructure and mass transit. We in the Senate are committed to doing that in the coming year. Senator Rafferty will be leading that as the chair of our Transportation Committee. And we are looking forward to taking action on pension reform. We know that we have in our state pension system a $40 billion unfunded liability, and the county and local pension systems are also chronically underfunded and putting pressure on local government budgets. So we intend to first take a look at the state pension system and see if we can get our arms around that problem, and secondly to look towards the local and county pensions to assist local governments with their obligations. I think one of the most exciting new things to appear in this region is the resurgence and renewal of the refineries, both the Sunoco Philadelphia refinery and the ConocoPhillips refinery in Trainer. And both of those hinge on the utilization of natural gas from the Marcellus Shale, which is a good implementation of that resource here in the Southeast where we don't have the resource itself. But yet to come, and potentially the most exciting, is the reuse of the Marcus Hook Sunoco refinery, which is the ending point of the Mariner East pipeline project, which will bring shale gas products to the Delaware River and allow for transport or processing right on the river, which will be a unique site in Pennsylvania where we'll be able to utilize shale, I think, to its greatest advantage.